Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Renee Eisenhuth, and I am a program coordinator in the Division of Professional Studies. I want to welcome you to the UMBC Community Leadership Open House, and we hope that you enjoy the presentation. And I will, from now, introduce you to the Graduate Program Director of the Community Leadership Program, Sally Scott.
Thank you, Renee, and thank you, everybody, for joining us. We want to give you a sense of our program tonight. The titles there are my own, Program Director, and Renee is Program Coordinator. And if you have any questions about who to contact about a particular issue, I say just send an email to both of us because we'll figure out who will get back to you. So our community leadership program started out in 2019, so we're already about 3 years underway, and it's designed to prepare aspiring and practicing leaders, meaning you don't have to be a leader already, but you may want to become one, with the skills and experience needed to enact transformative social change. So we have a real focus on helping you become effective at making change happen in the world. We have a number of videos on our website. I don't think we'll watch them all tonight, but it's really worth going on the Community Leadership website and clicking around on these videos. What they do is they give you a sense of the student perspective and also our partnerships with community organizations. As we'll talk about, everybody does at least 2 partnerships, one in the introductory class and one in the capstone class. And that's where you get the opportunity to practice really what you're learning and to put those that knowledge and those skills into action. So strongly advise you to take a look at the website and click on those videos. So we have 2 degrees. A 9-course Master of Professional Studies, which you'll see abbreviated as it is here to MPS, and then a 4-course Post-Baccalaureate Certificate, which we usually just call the certificate. You might wonder, 30 credits, usually 3 credits per course. Why isn't it a 10-course master's or a 5-course certificate? And that's because there is a key course, which is our capstone course, which is actually 6 credits. And that's taken both by the master's students and by the certificate students. In fact, all the certificate courses that are required are also taken by master's students. So there's no division between the 2 groups of students. They are fully integrated. And if you start out with a certificate and then decide, hey, I really like this, I want to keep going and get the master's, you can apply those credits because they're all, they're the courses you'd be taking for your master's anyway. So some people want to know, what is an MPS degree, Masters of Professional Studies? So this is a credential that is recognized. UMBC and other places have been offering it for many years. And what it really emphasizes is career development, meaning as a result of obtaining this degree, you'll have a much greater chance of, having the skills and the contacts and the knowledge to get a job that you really like. And so it's not all about, sitting in a classroom and doing academic learning. There's certainly plenty of that. But we also get out of the classroom. We go into neighborhoods in Baltimore. We, learn directly about the work of community leaders on the ground. And then we also invite those folks into our classroom to, teach courses or be guest speakers during our courses. And there are a set of courses that we'll talk about that are really specific skills that will be, valuable to students at the time they take them, but particularly when they get into the professional environment. And those are our 1-credit skills courses. So I'll talk a little bit more about those soon. So there are a bunch of different MPS programs in the Division of Professional Studies. What distinguishes the MPS in community leadership is you're joining a group of students who are really committed to this work and to this field. I feel like it's a privilege to teach our students. They come with a real passion and desire to connect with communities and to help communities make positive change. And we have faculty who have, been involved in aspects of that work for many years. Both full people who are at UMBC, like myself, folks that we bring in as adjunct professors. We've had people, adjuncts who are consultants, who are executive directors of nonprofits, who have run, major city organizations. So they really have the experience to connect the theory to the practice. You'll have that chance, as I mentioned, to do partnerships with community members to broaden your networks of contacts in the areas that you're most interested in, and to really get to know communities in and around Baltimore and understand their key issues and what kind of work can be done to help, improve those communities, always in partnership with them. And at the end of your time at UMBC, whether you're a certificate student or an MPS student, for that capstone course, which I mentioned, which is a 6-credit course, you develop a significant deliverable that will be utilized by the nonprofit that you're working with. So it helps you in your professional development, but it also builds the capacity of your partner organization. And, we have students who've been through the capstone and created projects that are having an ongoing impact on the organization they worked with and on the communities that are served by those organizations. So we see it happening, and it's really pretty exciting. The introductory course, and this is a picture of our students this past fall taking a walk through Southwest Baltimore City as a part of the Introduction to Community Leadership class. Should mention that we have access to a classroom in Southwest Baltimore City. So some of the classes are on the UMBC Catonsville campus, which is a really lovely campus. And then some of the classes are in this also really lovely renovated building that UMBC has a classroom in. And what's wonderful about that location in Southwest Baltimore is that there's all this history and activity around it. So we take everybody for about an hour-long walk, and along that walk, you see things like the B&O Railroad Museum, you see historic row homes, the Hollins Market, over 100 years old, and brand new high-rises that are coming up in that area. And you talk about the challenges and the tensions involved in developing new buildings, especially luxury apartment buildings, in a historic neighborhood. So that's the kickoff to that course. That's really the course where you meet other people who are also starting the program at that time and start to form a community with those folks. And in addition to the academic readings that we do, and we define reading broadly, we read, we watch videos, we listen to podcasts, but in addition to that, you do the community partnership project that I mentioned. That's listed at the top here of the required courses, Introduction to Community Leadership. In addition, and this is for the master's degree, there are 4 other required courses: a methodology course, which you have the option of taking it in sociology or public policy; a legal and ethical issues in community leadership, which we offer through our program; a really great course offered by the sociology program, social inequality and social policy; and then the capstone project. It's 6 credits because half of those credits are for the seminar, where you read and write and reflect and discuss. And half of those credits are for your community partnership project, where you're really, connecting with your partner, co-creating a project, and then, working with the partner to fully develop that project so that they have something, pretty substantial by the end of the semester. Last slide said for the master's degree, there are 18 credits that are required. That means there are 12 credits that are elective. And what's great about the elective courses is that there's a lot to choose from. There's courses within community leadership, but there's also courses in sociology, public policy, geography and environmental science, language literacy and culture. We have some psychology courses, American studies courses. So what we've done is really scan the graduate programs at UMBC, talk to the professors and the chairs who teach those courses and say, would you like your course to be an elective in community leadership? And that way we are really drawing on the strength of the full university, not just our own program. So the goal is not to take kind of one course here, one course there, but to choose a set of 4 elective courses for 12 credits total that really cohere into a pathway, kind of which give you an identity within the program, a clarity about, some knowledge and skills that you'll have coming out of the program. And that pathway can be in urban studies, can be in the nonprofit social sector, can be in social entrepreneurship. We have a very close relationship with the entrepreneurship MPS program. And then there's the option of designing your own pathway. That's in partnership with me as the program director, that you look at all these options and say, well, what I'm really interested in is, for example, communications in the nonprofit sector. So we can find a mix of courses that are specifically about the nonprofit sector and specifically about communications. And that positions you well, coming out of the program to, work in the nonprofit sector doing some kind of communications work. So there are many examples like that of specifically designed pathways that appeal to the students' strengths and the students' interests. And that's all for the master's program. Another set of courses, which I've mentioned a little bit and want to talk about more, are these 1-credit skills courses. You might say, well, how can 1 credit add up to an elective? Elective is typically 3 credits. Well, what you can do is these courses are only 5 weeks long, and we offer them. There's kind of one time slot in the semester where we will offer 3 of these courses. First course will be the first 5 weeks of the semester, the second 5 weeks, the third course, the third 5 weeks. You can choose to take 1, 2, or 3 of those courses. And they're offered in the fall and the spring, and now we have a summer course as well. So you can kind of pick and choose. You can say, well, I want to take 1 in the fall, 1 in the spring, 1 in the summer. Those 3 courses, those 3 credits add up to an elective credit, add up to a 3-credit elective. Over the course of your degree, and again, this is specific to the master's program because there are no electives in the certificate program. Over the full course of the full 2 or 3 years of the master's program, depending on how quickly you move through it, you can take up to 6 of these 1-credit skills courses. So that's 6 credits. That's the equivalent of 2 3-credit courses. These courses have really been a great addition to our program because we get people who are very experienced in a particular area. and that might be community organizing or advocacy or restorative practices, which is a form of mediation. We get folks with real expertise in that area. They come in for those 5 weeks. That's all they focus on. And they teach those courses for the 5 weeks. And so you not only get the credit for taking that course, but you also get the contact with people who are working in the field. And so we think it's a great complement to the more traditionally academic courses and to the community-oriented partnerships that our students undertake. So the class locations, I mentioned the Lion Brothers building. That's the Baltimore City location. That's the picture on the right. It's a beautifully renovated building. Used to be a factory. Now it houses all kinds of interesting nonprofit and university offices. And other courses are taught at the UMBC campus in Catonsville, which, if you haven't been, is, as you can see, got those wonderful trees and plants all over. There's even a pond by the library. It's a really nicely done campus. So if you're coming, after work, because our courses are in the late afternoon and evening because we're geared toward working students, you have a very pleasant place to come to. A few courses during the height of the COVID epidemic, all of our courses went online. Now that we're coming out of the COVID epidemic, we hope, most of our courses are being taught in person with masks on, and we'll see if that holds for the fall. But there are still a few courses, depending on which department you're interested in taking elective courses from, for master's students. Some of those are available online. It really depends. So you would just have to kind of ask me or Renee, and we can tell you, what courses are available online. But that is an option for some of the courses. And I don't know if we pointed this out. We talked about how there are 15 credits in the certificate program, and they're basically all the courses that are required for the master's program except for one, except for the legal and ethical aspects. Oh, there you go, Renee. Thank you. So yeah, it's all these courses except for the one that says CLDR 602. So it's the other 4 courses that's what constitutes the certificate program. Just those required courses and no electives. So there's less choice, right? You don't get to choose electives. On the other hand, it's a shorter program, so you can get it done more quickly. So yeah, pluses and minuses, but it is, if that's what you have the time or the bandwidth to do, it's a wonderful set of courses that constitute the certificate. Okay, we'll go back to what's the admissions requirements. So all of our students are expected to have a BA, but it can be in pretty much any subject. And we look for a minimum undergraduate GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. Occasionally, we make exceptions to that. So, that really depends on the student and what they've perhaps done, since they graduated from college. We also ask for a resume and a goal statement. So just a standard resume of what you've been doing, whether both in the educational and professional sector, and a goal statement. Why are you interested in this program? What would you like to accomplish through the program? You have to submit an official transcript from your undergraduate, and you can also, if you've done other graduate work, you can show us that as well. Letters of reference are optional if you are a student from the United States. If you're an international student, you should look at that international admission page for special admission information. I will point out, though, that certainly it's useful, I think, for me as the person who reviews the applications to have a letter of reference. If you're able to do that, it's certainly not required, but it is useful to have somebody else's perspective on your professional work or on your academic work. There is a $50 online application fee, though you'll see in the slide at the end, there's a code that you can put in to not be charged that fee. Tuition is, this says for spring 2022. Is this going to be the same, do you know, Renee, for fall 2022, or do we not know yet?
Fall 2022 amounts are not posted yet. So
Okay.
normally I would say end of April, May is when they start getting posted.
Okay, that's helpful. So this is what they are now. We don't know if they will stay the same or go up. It's $823 per credit if you are a Maryland resident or a qualifying regional resident. And by that we mean there are parts of Pennsylvania, Delaware, Virginia, and the District of Columbia which qualify for the regional rate, paying the same as a Maryland resident. And that's all, I think, spelled out on the website. But if you're outside of Maryland, the price does go up significantly to $1,300 per credit. We are just now instituting needs-based scholarships for our program. These scholarships are only for MPS students who are applying for the fall. So that's the one, and they are needs-based. So we are looking for folks who would otherwise, have a challenge doing our program if they weren't able to get a scholarship. It is not a full scholarship, it's partial, but it's significant amount of assistance. So the website, the community leadership website, has application details for that. You can also ask Renee and I if you have questions about that. In addition to that scholarship, there are other forms of financial aid available. You can go on the website and check that out. And student, business services is very useful for kind of all aspects of paying your tuition. There may be other aspects of student business, Renee, that you would want to talk about.
Yeah, there is information about the payment plan options on the Student Business Services website that kind of can break down your tuition into extra payments. But definitely look that information over on their website before signing up.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So you've got here our emails and our phone numbers. And also, if you are applying for either the master's or the certificate and use that DPS 2022 code, that will enable you to waive the $50 fee. So that's pretty helpful to know. So definitely contact us with your questions. If it's anything about the coursework, or if you want to make contact with a current student, I'm happy to help with that. Renee is more expert on all the UMBC systems, application systems, and tuition, that kind of thing. But as I said, if you send both of us an email, we'll figure it out and we'll get back to you. Thanks again for joining us. And, I hope that you'll get in touch with us.
Thank you so much and have a great night.